Hi everyone and welcome to part 2 of the lesson unit 8, pronouns and kinds of pronouns. In the previous video, part 1 of the same unit, we learned about the three different types of pronouns, which were personal pronouns of the first, second and third person, reflexive pronouns and emphasizing pronouns. All right. And in this video, we are going to continue with the rest of the pronouns. And so when you're watching the first video, which I really was shocked to know was 50 minutes, I thought it was something like 25-30 minutes. But when I start talking, it just goes on and I really don't notice the time passing. And it turned out to be a really long video, but be patient, watch it. And I promise you that when you understand something, there's nothing greater than understanding something. I mean, you feel that once you understood it, I mean, it's very easy to revise it or to go over it or to understand anything related with that particular subject. Okay, so today's video is going to be part 2 of unit 8, pronouns and kinds of pronouns, and we're going to learn about the rest of the pronouns. Okay, so let me go and present. Okay, here we go. All right, so now we are going to go to possessive pronouns. All right, possessive pronouns. Now, when you take a pronoun in a sentence and you place it before a noun, that pronoun stops acting like a pronoun basically. It now is kind of acting like an adjective. It describes the noun. It describes it how? It describes it by showing ownership or possession. Okay. What is possession? When you have something, when you own something, it's called possession. It shows ownership of what that thing belongs to, who it belongs to, or what it belongs to. Okay. So let's see the difference between a possessive adjective and let's see the difference between a possessive pronoun. All right. So a possessive adjective will always come before a noun. It's basically a pronoun which comes before a noun, acts like an adjective. Therefore, it is referred to as a possessive adjective. Okay? So the following words are possessive adjectives. And if you've noticed, these words which I'm going to read out aloud right now will always come before a noun. Okay? My. Okay? What is your name? My name. So you see what I mean? My is the pronoun. It's coming before a noun, therefore it is acting as an adjective, showing who the noun belongs to. In this case, my name, or as soon as I say my name, you'll know immediately who I'm talking about. I'm talking about myself, right? Your, his, her, its, our, and their. These are the possessive adjectives. These are pronouns which are placed before nouns and they modify the noun by showing ownership to whom that noun belongs, and they are used as possessive adjectives. Okay? Now, possessive adjectives in a sentence, you will notice how they always followed by a noun. Okay, now I'm going to just read out these sentences. Okay, you will see the possessive pronoun which is being placed before a noun, and now it is doing the job of a possessive adjective, of an adjective. So they're referred to as possessive adjectives. My book is on the table. Whose book? My book. So my, in this case, even though it's a pronoun, it's acting as an adjective, it is called a possessive adjective because it shows who the book belongs to. I think you forgot your purse. Again, this possessive adjective is coming before a noun. It is a pronoun but acting as an adjective and it shows ownership, called a possessive adjective. The dog buried its bone. Okay, its bone again shows to whom the bone belongs. It is a pronoun acting as an adjective, a possessive adjective. The girls missed their bus. Whose bus? Their bus. There is a pronoun acting as an adjective because it shows ownership, meaning to whom the bus belongs. It's not their own bus, they didn't buy it, but it shows in which bus they're going and it is referred to as their bus. Okay? The Joey left his bat at home. Whose bat? His bat. Shows that the bat belongs to Joey. His is a pronoun which is acting as an adjective. It is referred to as a possessive adjective. Now let's see what a possessive pronoun is, okay? A possessive pronoun also shows ownership, but in a different way. It never comes before a noun. It stands alone by itself, but wham, it shows ownership perfectly. Let's see how, okay? Mine, yours, his, hers, theirs, ours. Now let me look at these adjectives and I'll just make sentences. Let me ignore the sentences at the bottom. I'll just say it like that, okay? This computer is mine. There's no noun following mine, right? Okay. The CD that I found on the table is yours. Okay. Immediately you know that I'm talking about whom the CD belongs to. Okay. This towel is his. You know immediately that the towel belongs to somebody, and if I'm talking about someone, you'll know who the towel belongs to. For example, this is Ralph. This towel is his. You immediately know this towel is Ralph's. Okay. Then hers. This aircraft model is hers. Okay, this is Rita. This aircraft model is hers, and this immediately shows you whom the aircraft model belongs to. Okay, to whom it belongs. Belongs to Rita. Okay, look at this lovely garden. Okay, it is theirs. This garden is theirs, and you're pointing to a couple. You know immediately whom the garden belongs to whom the garden belongs. Okay, and ours. We bought this beautiful old car, second-hand car. It is ours. So when I say that, you immediately know it belongs to me and somebody else. All right. So let's go through the sentences, just the ones on the slide. The chair next to the window is his. His is replacing a masculine singular noun. The house in the corner is ours. This pronoun is replacing the plural pronoun, the plural noun, which is me, with somebody else. Okay. And then I think the cookies at the party were hers. Okay. Let's say this, that is Pamela, and the cookies at the party are hers. You know, I'm talking about Pamela. Okay. And the cookies belong to her. The big red car is theirs. Can you see those three boys there? This red car is theirs. You immediately know that the car belongs to them. Okay. The phone that is ringing is yours. It's some noise of a phone. I think it's yours. Then you immediately check and say, oh yeah, that's my phone which is ringing. It immediately shows you whom the phone belongs to. The bag is mine. As soon as I say that, you know for sure that the bag is all right. So that is what a possessive pronoun is. You already learned about a possessive adjective, where a pronoun comes before a noun and it shows ownership, okay, that noun, who it belongs to. It is being used as an adjective, so they're referred to as possessive adjectives. Possessive pronouns also show ownership, but they stand by themselves and they never ever have a noun or a pronoun that follow it. Okay, I hope you're clear about that. All right, now I'm going to come to another type of pronoun, which is called a demonstrative pronoun. Now, always when you see demonstrative, basically it's like show and tell. Who is being referred to? Okay, we're pointing to somebody who is being referred to in the sentence. All right. Okay, so a demonstrative pronoun is used to replace a noun that has already been mentioned. They are used to refer to the noun instead of repeating the noun in multiple sentences. Of course, we all know that pronouns are constantly being used to avoid repeating the noun again and again and again. Okay? They are used to refer to objects by pointing them out. What are the words you use to point out or refer to something? This, that, which is at a distance. This is something which is close. That, okay? Or we say these, those, when we are referring to plural subjects or plural nouns, right? Plural nouns. Okay? And then we use words like such, none, and neither. Okay? These are all demonstrative pronouns. So now, when I show you the examples, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So this, that, these, those, such, none, and neither. Okay, in some places they say neither, some places they say neither. Okay, so this and these refer to object or objects which are close by, and that and those refer to object or objects which are further away. Okay, not very close. This is my bicycle or motorcycle. Sorry, that's a Harley Davidson. This is my motorcycle. These are my new puppies. That is the new movie theater. Those are the latest computers. So actually, when you see the nouns in the sentence, in the first case, my motorcycle, you're using the word this, you're using the pronoun this to kind of talk about it. This is my motorcycle. You're so basically talking about it two times in the sentence. You can just say my motorcycle, but to be very specific, you say this is my motorcycle. These are my new puppies. You're referring, these refer to the puppies. They're replacing the puppies, but you're repeating it. These are my new puppies. You can say my new puppies, but you use these. This is the demonstrative pronoun to demonstrate or refer. Okay. That is the new movie theater. The new movie theater. But we as humans, we tend to make it verbal and we say that is the movie theater. Okay. Those are the latest computers. Those are the latest computers. Okay, so you're referring to something close by or some things close by. Something close by is this, some things close by is these, something not very close to you is that, some things which are not very close to you are those. Okay? So let's see the different examples. Many, many examples, as you all know. Bob was late again. So here we are introducing the noun. Okay? In all of them, it's basically the subject. The sentence is the noun. And then when we follow it with the following, the sentence that follows, you'll know exactly how these demonstrative pronouns are being used in the following sentences. Bob was late again. Okay. Now that boy, okay, we're referring to Bob. It's taking the place of the noun. That boy is really annoying. Okay. Everybody knows when you start off with Bob was late again and you say that boy is really annoying, it's connected. You're talking about Bob. You're not talking about Ramesh or Karthik, or you're not talking about Joey or Jimmy. You're talking about Bob. I love apple and cherry pie. Okay, so in this case here, we're talking about the apple and the cherry pie, because when I say these are my favorite, these is replacing the apple and cherry pie, not replacing I. Okay. So these are my favorite refers to the apple and cherry pie, the noun in the sentence. I loved growing beets and tomatoes. Those were my gardening favorites. That is gardening favorites, meaning the best. Enjoyed growing those, maybe because it grew so well and it was very satisfying to see these plants growing, these vegetables growing in the garden. So he's referring to those were my gardening favorites. He's referring to beets and tomatoes. Okay. I really love music, but my dad doesn't. So I love music, but my dad doesn't. He allows none to be played in the car. So none here is a demonstrative pronoun which is directly referring to the music. He allows no music to be played, none to be played in the car. Okay? So none is a pronoun which takes the place of the music. So instead of saying he allows no music to be played in the car, we just say he allows none, which means nothing. Okay? I don't like eggs or celery. Neither appeals to me. So we are saying eggs or celery. So neither refers to both eggs or celery. Both of them. They don't appeal to me at all. So neither is taking the place of the eggs and the celery. So we introduce in the first sentence the nouns, and the second sentence are demonstrative pronouns which replace, and we don't have to repeat it. For example, I don't have to say, I don't like eggs or celery don't appeal to me. So when you say neither, it means both of them don't appeal to me. Okay? I cannot trust him anymore. Such is the reality of some friendships. So the when you trust somebody, it's basically a relationship you have with them of trust. So such is the reality of some friendships. When you can't trust somebody, okay, that quality or that situation has been replaced by such. Okay, it is that this not being able to trust somebody anymore is the reality of some friendships. So that has been replaced by such in this sentence. Okay. So now we come to interrogative pronouns. Now, interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions, and they are who, which, whom, what, and whose. Okay? Now, these are also known as interrogative words, as you already learned. Questions using this are called were questions or interrogative questions. Okay? So now, who called last night? Okay? Now, let's say John called last night. We are going to ask a question. We don't know it's John, but the noun John has been replaced by the question who to get information. Okay. Which keys are yours? Okay. You don't know which one. Okay. We're talking about keys here. Okay. So supposing I say I had several keys on the table, which is yours? So here the which can be replacing the pronoun. Okay, in this case, actually, which keys which would be an interrogative adjective because it is coming before the noun. So I made a big mistake here. Okay, I should have written which are yours. Okay, I shouldn't have written which keys because which is followed by a noun. So which becomes an interrogative adjective. Okay, all right. Whom do I ask for at the desk? Okay, so you're asking a question. So you know maybe it's the manager. So basically the manager has been replaced by a question to show that you don't know who it is. So whom do I ask for at the desk? What did you do when the electricity failed? So you're asking a question, okay, when the electricity failed, okay, what did you do? So the electricity is basically the failure of the electricity is replaced by a question like what did you do when the electricity failed? Okay, I mean I'm putting it as simple as possible where these pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, are being used to ask questions. Okay, whose is this? Okay, let's say this is my pair of scissors. Whose is this? The scissors. Okay, the whose is a question referring to basically the scissors, right? So it's taking the place of the noun in this sentence. Whose is this? Okay, and now we come to actually relative pronouns. Okay, this is a really important set of pronouns which basically we use a lot. Okay, which we use a lot in a sentence. Okay, right now I just used it. This is a set of pronouns. We use it a lot in the sentence. So now I join these two sentences together to say these are a set of pronouns which we use a lot when we talk. Okay, so relative pronouns are being used all the time because sometimes we say sentences which are related to each other. So instead of saying the sentences separately as two separate sentences, we join them together using relative pronouns. Let's see how we do this. Okay. So a relative pronoun is one which is used to refer to nouns mentioned previously. Okay. Whether they are people, places, animals, or things, or ideas. We use relative pronouns to join two sentences together, which are related sentences. Okay. Relative sentences, pronouns can be used for related sentences, not for unrelated ones. Okay, the two sentences have to be connected to each other in some way, like a relation. like a relative. So remember about relative pronouns and the analogy of what I'm comparing it to you. Okay. So the ones which it's very clear what the relative pronouns are. They are who, whom, whose, which, and that. There are 5 relative pronouns. All right. Now let's look at the pairs of sentences. Okay, lots and lots of examples I've given you. Okay, the first one is the cyclist won the race. All right, the first sentence. Now look at the second sentence. We've used a pronoun here, he trained hard. Okay, now you know that we are talking about the cyclist who won the race. He trained hard. We are not talking about your auntie who went cycling yesterday. Okay, we are not talking about your uncle who traveled to China yesterday. We are definitely talking about the cyclist who won the race. Okay, so now join the two sentences with a relative pronoun, and you know the relative pronouns are who, whom, whose, which, and that. Okay, so now how can you make it into one full sentence using a relative pronoun? So the cyclist who won the race trained hard. Now, children, always remember when you're joining two sentences together, in the second half of the sentence, if there is a pronoun, make sure you don't repeat the pronoun in the sentence that you've created with the relative pronoun, because basically the relative pronoun is replacing the pronoun in the second half of the sentence. And you will never see the pronoun being repeated in the final sentence you create with the relative pronoun. So the cyclist who won the race trained hard. Okay. We do not say the cyclist who won the race, he trained hard. No, because when you start the sentence again, you say he, it starts a new sentence again. So you just forget about he. Okay. The cyclist who won the race trained hard. It tells you that the cyclist won the race and he trained hard. But you have made it very short by making it into one sentence, conveying both the ideas of the cyclist winning the race and the fact that he trained hard. The cyclist who won the race trained hard. You see what I did? Now let's go to the other examples. So now look at the examples with two sentences which you need to join with relative pronouns. Notice how the pronouns in the second sentence are omitted and they're replaced by the relative pronoun. Okay, and you'll see what I mean when I go to the different examples. Okay, now look at this. I bought these pants yesterday. Like I told you in American English, basically when you say pants, it means underwear. Okay, and in British English, you say pants, which means trousers. Okay, so let's talk in British English right now. I bought these pants yesterday, giving you an idea. I bought these pants yesterday. Now look at the second sentence. They are already stained. Stained means they got marks on it. Okay. Now, obviously, when you say they are really stained, it's the pants which are stained, because both these sentences are related to each other. They're connected. Okay, they're not completely separate sentences with completely different ideas, not connected to each other at all. It's not like that. They're connected. They're talking again in the next sentence using a pronoun by saying they. They're talking about the same pants, right? Okay. So now let's use a relative pronoun to join the sentences. The pants that I bought yesterday are already stained. Now both sentence 1, sentence 2 are very flawlessly joined together using that. Now children, remember when you're talking about non-living things or about animals, okay, especially about non-living things, we use that and which. All right, that and which. When you're talking about animals, we usually use which. You can use that also. Sometimes the sentence sounds perfect when you use that as well for animals. But as a rule, grammatical rule, we follow this, that which and that is used for non-living things, and we usually use which for animals. Okay? So the pants that I bought yesterday are already stained. Now look at the second half of the sentence. There is a pronoun there, they. But do you see it being repeated in the second completed sentence with the relative pronoun? No. So never repeat the pronouns in the second part of the sentence. The sentence sounds completely wrong that way. Okay, the pants that I bought yesterday are already stained. They has been removed completely. Okay, and you have made it into a complete sentence using a relative pronoun. Okay, so now look at this. This is the horse. First part of the sentence. When I say it won the race, you know I'm talking about the horse. But now let's try to make it into a complete sentence using a relative pronoun. Now, like I told you, you must remember for animals we use which usually, but you can use that as well. Okay, so this is the horse. Remove it. I told you that the pronouns in the second half of the sentence should not be used again. So this is the horse which won the race. So simple, right? You have replaced it with a relative pronoun which, and you have stitched the two sentences together perfectly. And it's a perfect answer. This is the girl. The teacher is very pleased with her. Now the word her is referring to the girl. You know it, it's connected sentence. So let's see how you can make it into a complete sentence with just a relative pronoun joining the two sentences. Now remember the second half of the sentence is got a pronoun her, but so we don't want to have her in the sentence at all. Okay, so this is the girl whom the teacher is very pleased with. So you don't have to repeat her at all. Okay, so whom is the relative pronoun we use usually with people. We use it with people. We use who and whom with people. So here the girl is being referred to, so we shall use who. Okay, or whom. This is the boy whose dad owns this house. Okay, all right. So this is the boy, okay, whose dad. This shows that the dad belongs to this boy. This is the boy whose dad owns this house. We have not used his at all. So this is the relative pronoun joining the two sentences. This is the magician. He broke his leg. This is the magician who broke his leg. In this case, he is replaced by who, and the sentences are joined together. Okay, so now this is the fill in the blanks that I had created for you during class, and so that you'd be able to answer it. Okay, so the festival dash lasted all day, ended with a banquet. Now, like I told you, the festival, now we have to connect it to the festival. So the festival is a non-living thing. We shall use that or which, obviously. In this, we are going to use the festival which lasted all day, or the festival that lasted all day, ended with a banquet, but I would prefer to use which. It sounds much better. I'm looking for someone. Now, someone is a person, so we'll have to use who or whom. Okay, so I'm looking for someone who can take care of my dog while I go on vacation. Who? All right. So who would be the correct answer? We cannot say I'm looking for someone whom can take care of my dog. No. Who can take care of my dog? Okay. Now let's see if you can answer it. Okay. The police needed details dash could help identify the robber. Now we're not talking about the police. We're going to be talking about the details. Okay. Something connected with details. So details is a non-living thing. We're going to substitute the relative pronoun which is going to be used is obviously that or which. So the police needed details. If you guessed which is the correct answer, it sounds better than the police needed details which could help identify the robber. You can also use the police needed details because we're talking about the details, okay? That could help identify the robber, okay? The clubhouse in dash, the dance was held, housed, meaning it could accommodate about 200 people. Now we're talking about the clubhouse. So it is a non-living thing. We have to use which or that, right? So let's see what answer you got. The clubhouse, we cannot say in that the dance was held. We have to say the clubhouse in which the dance was held housed about 200 people. So if you guess that and if you knew that, that is the correct answer. You can choose one person. So person is who? Who or whom, right? You can choose one person dash you like to share the cruise with you. Cruise is basically a vacation and a fun time you have on a ship. You go on a cruise. Okay, we don't use cruise with any other type of travel, mode of travel. We just say a cruise on a ship, right? So you can choose one person who you like or whom you like. If you guessed whom, that is the correct answer. You can choose one person whom you like to share the cruise with you. Okay, the next one, the baby. Person. Immediately who or whom will come in this sentence. The baby. Oh no, we're talking about ownership. The sleep is the baby's sleep. So what word will you use here? Okay, the baby. Who sleep? No. Whom sleep? No. We're talking about to whom the sleep belongs. Okay? We're talking about the baby here. So the baby whose sleep had been interrupted cried loudly. You know, when my kids were small, if they were fast asleep, everything was great and all right with the world. But in the middle of their nap, if they ever woke up because of a loud sound or because I dropped something or because of a horn in the distance or whatever, oh my God, they would get really upset and they would cry. Okay, but not for a long time. Like, none of my kids have ever cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. I've heard that happen sometimes, not very often, but oh my goodness, I don't know how I could bear it because it is a very disturbing cry. You know, you have to hold them and you have to rock them, and sometimes they go to sleep or they stop crying quickly, sometimes not very quickly. But anyway, you have to have a lot of patience. Okay, so the baby whose sleep had been interrupted cried loudly. Whose sleep? Because here we are really talking about the sleep and not the baby. Okay? The baby whose sleep had been interrupted cried loudly. This is the girl again. We're talking about a girl. Okay, you have to read the whole sentence actually. This is the girl. Dash saved the boy from drowning. So the main action is with the girl. Okay? So you know that when we're talking about a living person or living thing, we will living person. Sorry, not a thing. A person. We will use who or whom. So in this case, this is the girl. If you guessed whom, it is the sorry who. You have got the correct answer. This is the girl who saved the boy from drowning. Okay, the animals dash have been rescued. We're talking about animals now. So you know you have to use which or that, right? The animals dash have been rescued, are well fed and happy, right? So the animals which have been rescued or that have been rescued. So here we use that. It sounds much better. The animals that have been rescued are well fed and happy. The animals which have been rescued, I'll still go with that. It sounds way better. Okay. All right, so some more examples to show the use of relative pronouns in sentences. I bought a new puppy last year. It loves bananas. Okay, I bought a new puppy last year, which likes bananas. We don't repeat the it. Okay, the puppy. I bought a new puppy last year, which loves bananas. Or the puppy which I bought last year loves bananas. Okay, the second part of the sentence, which is actually what has been written on the slide, is the correct answer. Okay, so the puppy which I bought last year loves bananas. You can say the puppy that I bought, but which sounds way better. Raj won the lottery. Yay, I won 10,000, 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs. Or if you're in America, I won $1 million. I'm a millionaire. Okay, so Raj won the lottery. He is waiting outside. Okay, so how can we make a complete sentence, one full sentence using a relative pronoun? Simple. Now, hero of the whole whatever's happened is Raj. So Raj, who won the lottery, take away he. Raj, who won the lottery, is waiting outside. Okay? Or you can say Raj, who is waiting outside, won the lottery. This or that. We hired a teacher. She knows Spanish and Hindi. Okay, great. She knows two languages. So she can join the school teaching both Hindi and Spanish. We can start Spanish in St. Mark's School. Okay, so we hired a teacher. She knows Spanish and Hindi. Let's make her the main focus of the sentence. So what will you say? We hired a teacher who knows Spanish and Hindi. Take away she completely. It replaces she in the sentence. Or we can say the teacher whom we hired speaks Hindi and Spanish. Both are absolutely correct. We hired a teacher who knows Spanish and Hindi, or the teacher whom we hired knows Spanish and Hindi. Okay? Both are correct. The man stole your bike. He has been caught. He is enormous. The bike itself must be weighing a few kilos, and not only is he carrying one bike, he's carrying two bikes. And he's wearing the classic mask to hide his features, and he's wearing a striped t-shirt as well. I mean, that is a absolute he looks exactly like a burglar or a thief. So the man stole your bike. He has been caught. So let's make it really simple. The man who stole your bike has been caught. All right, he has been replaced, he. The man who stole your bike has been caught. Okay, or the man who stole your bike has been caught. Okay, so who is referring to the man? It is who or whom for people. The woman's gold ring is lost. She is here. Okay, it shows something that belongs to somebody else. So here, you can use whose, because whose usually shows possession. Okay, so the woman whose gold ring is lost is here. Okay. All right, so we finished with relative pronouns, I think. I don't know if there are any more examples. Oh, there are more. I have a brother. Let's say he lives really far away. Let's say he stays in Germany. I miss him so much. He's my twin brother. So what I do, I text him every day. Okay, I have a brother. I text him every day. So you have to use who or whom. So I have a brother whom I text every day. Or I have a brother who I text every day. Both are correct, but in both cases, him is not used in the completed sentence with the relative pronouns. So I have a brother whom I text every day, or I have a brother who I text every day. Okay? So now let me go to the next sentence. I have a friend. Her cat is adorable. Oh, look at this cat. Isn't he or she the cutest cat in the whole wide world? Imagine if my cat ever did that. Oh my goodness, I would smooch and kiss that cat till it seriously fainted, okay? Because he's so cute. Look at that. Look at that watermelon umbrella, and look at that ice cream. Okay? Look at that ice cream. So cute. Anyway, I love this picture. Actually, it had lots and lots of cartoons like this of a cat This is actually not a cartoon. I think it's an actual photograph, and they've just added the stuff. But there were so many cute ones of cats carrying umbrellas, different kinds of umbrellas, eating burgers and different kinds of things in their hand. But I liked this ice cream and the watermelon. It made it look very, what do you call it? It made it look really colorful. So I really liked it. So I have a friend, and her cat is adorable. Her cat is adorable. So now it shows that something belongs to this friend of mine. Her cat. Her cat. Okay, possession. Her, whose cat? Her cat. Okay, so now we shall use the relative pronoun whose in this sentence. I have a friend whose cat is adorable. Okay, I want to catnap it. Instead of kidnap, I want to catnap that cat. Okay? The witch cast a spell. It turned him into a frog. I don't know whether you have ever read the story about the princess and the frog, or the frog prince, where a witch casts a spell on a prince because he is got a terrible personality. He made fun of the witch, calling her ugly, and she got really mad at him, and she turned him into a frog and said that only you should see the goodness in a person inside their heart and not what's on the outside. And only the day when you are loved for who you are inside, and nobody sees how ugly you are on the outside, and you're loved for something that is inside you, some goodness inside you, that day my spell will be broken and you'll turn back into a handsome prince. I've seen cartoons where a princess turned into what do you call it, into a really into a frog. Okay, and uh, you change the ugly frog into a handsome prince, but this is the other case. The handsome frog was changed into an ugly prince. Okay, it's just funny things or funny jokes made on a fairy tale. So I thought that was really hilarious. So this story, the princess, she comes across the frog, and the frog is like desperate for a kiss from the princess because he thinks that the kiss will immediately make him back into a prince. But he doesn't realize he has to win the love of the princess. So you see in the Frog Prince how the frog speaks to the princess, and over a long period of time, the princess really likes the frog. And no matter how he looks, when he asks her initially, when he asks for a kiss, she say, "Ew, ew, I'm not gonna kiss any frog." Okay, but then finally she does kiss him when she really likes what he's like inside. She doesn't look at the fact that he's a frog. And then when she kisses him, he turns into a handsome prince. And the trick is, he's not supposed to tell her that if you kiss me, I'll turn into a prince. He's not supposed to say anything at all. He's just supposed to win her heart with being a good guy. Okay? So the witch cast a spell which turned him into a frog. Okay? Which turned him into a frog. Because we're talking about the spell. Which did something. Which turned him into a frog. Okay? So this is a cartoon which I really loved. If you can watch it, The Princess and the Frog, watch it. And that's the end of this video on part 2 of pronouns, unit 8, pronouns and kinds of pronouns. Okay, and let's go back to the meat. Whew, I am really sweating in here. I had to put off the AC because every time I start a video and the AC is on, there's a zzz in the background. So I have to put it off. But you know, Chennai is not exactly the coldest place on this planet. It is warm, and I'm sure right now it's like something like 20, maybe 30, 31 degrees in here. And I am sweating. Okay, but I finished the video. I finished Unit 8, Part 2, describing the different other rest of the kinds of adjectives, which are basically possessive adjectives, demonstrative, interrogative, and finally relative pronouns. Okay, not adjectives, pronouns. So you had possessive pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, and relative pronouns, which were explained in this video. Okay, I hope you understood. I hope you liked the video. I hope you're finding it easier watching these videos, and I hope it helps you to revise for your great big quiz assignment On the ninth, I think ninth you have English 2, and 10th we've got loads of lessons to catch up on. But okay, that's enough for today. The next few videos I'll be preparing tomorrow, basically trying to finish your full portion in grammar. Okay, because I love to do it. Okay, children. So bye from me. I love you all. Mwah, mwah. Don't forget to prepare for tomorrow's unit, the revision 6 or revision 7. I'm confused, on unit 7, adverbs and kinds of adverbs. Okay. All right. Bye from me. I hope you have a lovely, lovely Sunday evening. Bye bye.